Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Well, good evening on a Thursday night, wherever you may be. My name is Larry Megan, and welcome to another edition of Chillin' with Larry Megan. I'll tell you what, we watched Idol here tonight in the studio, and I was kind of sad to see Holly go. She's been, if you've been watching American Idol this year, she's kind of been like the one that the judges like to pick on. And, you know, sometimes it was warranted, but they've been pretty harsh on her, and she's been fighting, seems like for 5-6 weeks in a row. Maybe once she missed the bottom three, but she's been fighting from the bottom every week. And, you know, she probably was the odd one out tonight, but I would have liked to seen Philip go and let Holly stay in there. I know Philip seems like he's destined to win this thing, but just not my cup of tea. And it was kind of sad. I don't know if you saw Josh, he was crying and everything, but, you know, Holly Cavanaugh's gone. They're in their final three. So next week, I think next week is going to be the finals, unless they drag it out one more week after that. So that's going to be interesting. So tonight, we're going to talk about American Idol, and we're going to talk about The Voice. I was disappointed by The Voice also. I mean, you know, we'll talk about that as we get into it. But I want to encourage anybody who's watching the show tonight, if you're into The Voice or you're into American Idol, you know, by all means, give us a call. You see the numbers right there on the screen, just below the player there. And you can, if you have video Skype, by all means, you can video Skype us to Acorn TV. Otherwise, just call that 310 number you see on the screen. If you're new to Acorn TV and Chilling with Larry Megan, how are we doing, Maddie? Okay? All right, good. Yeah. If you're new here, you haven't joined us before, then by all means, please click on the Facebook icon over on the right-hand side there of the monitor and like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and share this feed on your Facebook page to help us spread the word. Okay, no Classic Film Zone tonight. I did talk to Barbie. She's back from her riverboat trip with the Harry James Orchestra, and she'll be rejoining us next week with a new Classic Film Zone. And I think we're going to feature Gilda. We're not committed to it, but we kind of talked about it a little bit, and we both like that movie. So we might be doing Gilda with Rita Hayworth next week in the Classic Film Zone. I don't know if you caught our show last week. Last week we had a really great guest on. We had Judy Chaikin, the filmmaker from Los Angeles, who is just bringing out now in the festival film circuit the documentary The Girls in the Band, and that was I got some really nice feedback on that show, and I'm hoping to do more with The Girls in the Band. We'll see what happens with that. But if you missed that show, then you can click on the little live stream icon over on the right-hand side, and that's going to take you to our live stream channel page. And on the channel page, just below the player, you'll see, you know, latest videos, and you can actually watch that on replay. It was the one dated 5/3, Chilling with Larry Megan on May 3rd. And that was really, you know, quite an interesting interview that we did with Judy and Roz Cron. Okay, with that said, I want to invite your participation tonight. I'm dying to talk to somebody else who's into these shows besides myself and all of us here in the studio. We all have our own likes and dislikes, and you know, we all have our own opinions. But okay, you know, this week I thought what I'd do, Ronnie and Maddie, is I thought I'd switch it up and start with American Idol. You know, every week we usually take The Voice first, mainly because The Voice comes, you know, during the week. It actually plays, you know, Monday and Tuesday, and Idol is Wednesday, Thursday. So just out of a natural progression, we seem to take The Voice always first. This week we'll take American Idol first, and then we'll get back to The Voice. The Voice had their finale this week. Okay, so starting off with the American Idol. This week, of course, they're into their final four, their top four, okay? And it's Philip Phillips. Here they are, Holly Cavanaugh, Jessica Sanchez, and Joshua Ledet, and a pretty talented final four. In fact, last week they kicked off Skylar Lane, and Skylar, Skylar, I thought, really deserved to be in the final four, but she had to go home. I would have liked to seen her in here over Philip, but unfortunately, she didn't make it. So what they did as far as the format for the evening, each contestant was going to sing 2 songs. And on the first round, it was what they call their California song or their Cali song, some song that might have had California roots, whether it was about California or whether it was, performed by somebody who lived in California. They stretched these things out any way they could. And then in the second round, the idea was it would be a song that I wish I would have written, meaning the contestant. So basically the second round would be a personal song choice of the contestant, a song that they like. So on the first round, it was the California songs, and Philip Phillips went first. Now, Philip is the one from Georgia who's kind of that soulful singer, with everybody wants to compare him to the, Dave Matthews Band. And he did Have You Ever Seen the Rain, another Creedence Clearwater Revival song. They did 2 of them last week, CCR songs, and here they do another one right off the bat. And, again, for me, it was just okay. I think this guy's very talented. Everybody's kind of predicting he's going to win it. He's never been in the bottom 3 before. Just simply not my cup of tea. Stephen made the comment. He said, the judges always love this guy no matter what he does. And Stephen Tyler said, you're living proof that the road to success is always under construction. Jennifer said, there's this Joe Cocker quality to you that I have not heard from you before. When Jennifer said that, I couldn't even believe it because, I think it's obvious from the very first time I ever heard this guy. He kind of has a joke. He sounds like Joe Cocker. He's got that real, grit and sandpaper voice to him. And he even has kind of body movements like Joe Cocker. So I don't know where Jennifer's been that she hasn't noticed this before. And then, Randy, Randy loves this guy. He gave, not the greatest, he did one of his usual, well, at first it was rough, dog, but then you worked it out and it was great by the end. He gave one of those kind of critiques, and Randy didn't totally love it, but then at the end he did love it. So, that was Philip's first song. On the second round, Philip went to his personal song choice, and he did a very obscure song, which kind of was a surprise at this point in the competition. Typically, they go with very popular, well-known songs. He did a song choice called Volcano by Damien Rice, an Irish singer-songwriter. I never heard of this guy or this song, but the staging on this was very unique. You don't usually see this kind of staging on American Idol. As you can see, it's very dark. He had just a cellist off to the side and a female backup singer. It was really this dark staging, was very unique. And Jennifer said it was one of the most beautiful, poignant moments a contestant has ever had. She said, in all my years watching these shows and judging, she thought it was one of the best moments, and I don't think many contestants could have pulled that off. It's a real testament to who you are. Stephen said that was the kind of song I could listen to in my headphones over and over. Again, they just love this guy. And then Randy went crazy. Randy said, dude, that was, one of your best performances of the whole season. Sometimes the little simple statement has more volume to it. So, with those kind of reviews by the judges, I think you just knew right then and there that Philip was not going to be going home this week. But once again, they just ate him up. Next came Holly Kavanaugh, and this is a girl that, I've really kind of grown to like. She's grown on me, and she's been really building the last 3 or 4 weeks. I was kind of harsh on her early on, but I just think she's been really growing, and I was pulling for her. On her first round, her California song, she did Faithfully by Journey, a Stephen Perry song. And of course, every time there's a Journey song, Randy Jackson is always going to remind us that he worked with this band, he's played with this band, and he loves Stephen Perry. And he did it again. But Randy said you did Stephen Perry proud, and it was really in the zone. Jennifer Lopez, she says, I get emotional seeing how far you've come. It's just a beautiful thing. What they did is they showed a video package of when Holly was actually cut from making The Voice last year, or she made it onto the show, but maybe she got cut in Hollywood Week, and they had to send her home and told her she wasn't ready yet. Please come back. And she came back this year, and Jennifer remembered her from last year. And, they showed the video package where Holly was crying and everything. So Jennifer gets really emotional with Holly. And then Stephen said, he came up with a wild one. I couldn't even understand what he was saying. I had to go back and watch it a couple times. He said, you've blossomed creatively. creativity is a very delicate flower, and you can make it bloom by giving it positive affirmations. One of those crazy Steven Tyler comments, which, you just love. Now, so Holly did very well there. The judges liked her first song, the Journey song, but on the second round, this is where they really came down on Holly really hard. I thought it was a little too harsh. Her personal song choice, not a great choice. She said, "I Can't Make You Love Me," the Bonnie Raitt song, which is a great song, especially by Bonnie Raitt. But, Holly's only 17 years old, doesn't really have that life experience for a song like this. And Holly just simply couldn't make the judges love her anyway. But Steven said, "A song like that, you have to have gone through a bunch of things to feel that. It fell a little short. Sorry, baby." Randy, at this point in the competition, you need moments. The song gave you nowhere to go. There were no moments for me. Just the wrong choice at the wrong time. This is not the... this is it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And then Jennifer said, "It's like you knew that you had to be emotional, so it got the better of you." So again, they came down, all three judges came down really hard on Holly, and you knew that was not going to be a good sign for her. Next up was, just a force of nature, Joshua Ledet. And for his California song, he sang "You Raise Me Up," a Josh Groban song. And, I was thinking to myself, later in the show, he did "It's a Man's World." Both of the songs that Joshua did were on The Voice, literally in the finals. Here, "You Raise Me Up" was a song that was done by Chris Mann from The Voice just this week on Monday night. And Chris Mann did a nice job with it. I definitely preferred Joshua Ledet to Chris Mann's version. I was not a Chris Mann fan really that much. But then he does, "It's a man's world." And I'm just wondering, does he like The Voice, or are the producers of the show trying to, one up The Voice by having one of their leading guys, Joshua Ledet, do the same songs that they're doing on The Voice and do them even better? I don't know what's going on there. But it was a great performance by Joshua, no question about it. It was phenomenal. This guy is just incapable of doing a bad performance. He's from Louisiana, got a lot of gospel and soul and church in him. Jennifer said, "Another great performance from you." Steven said, "I can only say that I'm glad you got on that plane." And what he was referring to was in the video package, it showed that, Josh saying he was thinking about not even getting on the plane to come to L.A. for the show because he had a fear of flying. And also, the other people in his family were also fearful of flying. So he was thinking about just skipping it. But somehow he got up the nerve to get on the plane to come here. And Steven was saying he was glad he got on the plane. And then Steven, once again, in one of his classic remarks, he said, "I think you are the plane right now." Typical Steven Tyler. And then for Joshua's own personal song choice, this is where he did that James Brown song, "It's a Man's World." And this is a great song. And I'll be honest, I hadn't heard this song till I saw a week and a half ago, we saw Juliet Sims on The Voice do this song. And it really was the performance of the entire season for The Voice. It was just incredible by Juliet Sims. And now Josh is going to do it. And he really outperformed himself on this one. He went nuts. It was an outrageously awesome performance. It had fire and ferocity, a lot of swag. He sang it like one of the old time greats, like a James Brown or a Jackie Wilson or something like that. He gave it everything he had. He left it all out there on the stage. Steven said, "No man or woman has ever sang that good with that much passion ever. I can go home right now. I've never heard anything like that in my life." Jennifer said, "We thought we had seen everything that you've got to give, but we hadn't." And Randy he just said it's one of the best performances in the history of any singing show. And I thought, you know what, with those kind of raves, and it was a standout moment, that should be something that you'd want to see and share with you. I see we've got Ryno on the line. You want to take Ryno right now? Sure. All right, let's take Ryno right now. When we come back from after Ryno, we'll show the video. Hey, Ryno, how you doing?
Hey, Larry, how you doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem, man. Thanks for calling in. I saw your posts on Facebook about Jessica Sanchez, you being down in that San Diego area where you are. And I said, I don't care if this girl was from Mars. I have been pulling for Jessica for, since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I hadn't even learned about this season. I haven't watched American Idol since the one with Adam Lambert,
Right.
who coincidentally is also from San Diego. As a matter of fact, he went to my high school.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think David Archuleta was also from San Diego, another great American Idol
Yeah, I see.
from years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that season. I kind of went off and on that show, but ever since what's his face left the show, I haven't watched it.
Oh,
Uh,
Simon.
yeah, uh, not that I liked him; it just kind of changed a lot, so I kind of drifted
Well,
off of it.
I will say this. Basically, what you're saying is you missed season 10 because Adam Lambert
Yeah,
was in season 9. So if you
yeah,
missed season 10, let me be the first to tell you, you didn't miss much. I mean,
okay,
it was like nothing against Scotty McCreery. He was outstanding. I thought that even Haley Reinhart, she was very good. But honestly, it was a down year for American Idol. Last year was horrible. And that's why this year is so shocking. It's been a huge bounce back year for American Idol. The talent this year is really at an all-time high.
yeah. I might have to follow it from here on out because I didn't really realize there was somebody from San Diego on the show, and that she had made it that far until I saw your post. So
Well, this girl is amazing. It's absolutely just difficult to believe when you watch her sing that she's only 16.
I did. I watched one video actually of her singing. I think it was a Jennifer Hudson song.
Yes, we're going to show that in a few minutes, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Considering her age, it's not like she has much experience, obviously, to know how to sing so soulfully, and I was pretty impressed, I must say. So,
Absolutely. They showed a video package of her last night on the show, and in it she had some home video of when she was literally 5 years old and when she was 7 years old and how she used to just go around and perform for her family and stuff like that. And I think when she's 5 years old, she does that real growl voice, which is, I mean, it's amazing hearing it come from a 16-year-old. Well, she's been doing that since she was 5. Okay.
wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So yeah, you're right. She doesn't have a lot of experience when it comes to, professionally singing for money in front of people or in a studio, whatever. But this girl's been practicing in her bedroom in front of a mirror for 10 years.
Yeah, so she just started sooner.
Gosh.
She just has the raw talent, I can tell. You can just see it.
Yeah, it's a
Feel
gift. It's absolutely a gift. No question about it. And you say you're going to start watching from here on out. I think you only got 2 weeks left. I think it's,
I know,
but that's
but
cool.
I'll be rooting for her.
Hey, at least you got, you're coming in when it's down to the prime few.
Yeah.
They gave her a really hard time last week because, and a lot of it's not her fault because there are stylists on this show. There's fashion consultants and things like that. And they had her do Proud Mary by Tina Turner. And, yes, she is an old soul for sure. And yes, she has a lot of soul in her voice, but she's still 16. And, if you remember, of course, you're a pretty young guy yourself. I don't know if you ever saw Tina Turner do Proud Mary with the dancers with the super short dresses and the long hair and whipping it around on stage and all the legs and shaking the booty and everything. To have Jessica Sanchez walk out there on 6-inch heels and she was wearing this super, super tight
At 16.
dress. And I mean, she took a lot of heat for how she was dressed. And Randy's been her biggest supporter this year. Randy loves the girl, but even Randy said, sorry, this did not work for me. And he came down on her, just a little bit too mature for her. And also the way she was dressed. But I thought she was great. Maybe not up to Tina Turner standards, but they came down on her pretty hard last week. So this was a real bounce back week for Jessica.
Yeah, she's really impressive. I was amazed at how deep her voice can get and how she does that growl, like you said. That's pretty amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what, we weren't going to show this one, but as long as you called in, I love having guys call in. And just for you, I'm going to play her California song, which was Steal Away, an Etta James song. I guess Etta James must be from California or she lived in L.A. Maybe that's why That's why they counted it as a California song. So yeah, she shows a lot of soul in the Jennifer Hudson song from Dreamgirls, and that we definitely plan to show, and we're going to show that just a little bit later. But just for you, Ryno, I'm going to go ahead and give you, I mean, are you able to watch the show while we're talking?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay.
It'll be a little delayed, but
all right. This one's for Ryno. This is the San Diego girl, Jessica Sanchez, on her California song called Steal Away, an Etta James song. Check it out.
And more.
Tonight she takes on a legendary diva who hailed from right here in L.A., singing Etta James' Steal Away. This is 16-year-old Jessica Sanchez.
I got to see you, ooh, somehow. Not tomorrow, but right now. Wrong meeting you this way, but there's no other way that I can be with you. If only my folks, they would approve things like this. Yes, we wouldn't have to do. Keep it right here, baby, and all to myself. And I know it's a lie. Oh, don't make me wait. So come on, let's do it. Ooh. And I know it's a lie. Oh, don't make me wait. So come on, let's do it.
Ryno, that was for you. Did you see it?
Wow, yeah, I heard it and saw it. She's amazing.
Yeah, she really is. And, you know, one
like
of the
range there,
incredible. And you know, one of the things that kind of, you know, went a little unnoticed. You know, I read a lot of blogs online, and I like to get other people's opinions and stuff. And I usually agree with about half of what I read. But anyway, one thing I didn't read anywhere, and I just, you know, something I noticed that I think really made it tough on Jessica this week. This guy, Joshua Ledet, is just simply a force of nature. Before it's all said and done and it's all through, I don't know whether he wins this show or not. This guy is going to be, he's going to be a legend. I mean, he's a throwback. He reminds me of Jackie Wilson, which is going way back to about the early 60s. But he's going to have a very special place in the entertainment business before it's all said and done. And he is just tearing it up every single week, every single performance. And they put Jessica after Joshua both times in the rotation. Man, you don't want to have to follow Joshua. And yet they put this little 16-year-old girl after Joshua, just left the place completely, you know, torn apart, blew the roof off the place. And then Jessica's got to come out there and perform. And she did a great job right there. And wait till you see what she did on her personal song choice. That's the one that you saw, the Jennifer Hudson Dreamgirls song. We're going to show that as well. But she tore it down too. So not an easy spot to be in following Joshua Ledet. I don't think any contestant wanted to follow him. But she did it, and she ripped it up. And I've got a feeling we're going to be looking at Joshua and Jessica as the final two.
It's going to be a showdown, I guess, between those two, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. You know, and listen, man, I just love these shows. You know, I mean, for me, it's a lot of fun because I can't sing at all. But, you know, I
can appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I mean, I like to hear, you know, good singing. And a lot of times, some of the people that get through, they don't sing so great. They don't sing on the melody, and it annoys me a lot, But this year, you've got some real singing talent in there this year. I think everybody would agree with that.
One thing I thought was interesting, I read that I guess Jessica Sanchez has a huge following on YouTube, which might help with her votes.
I didn't read that, but I would find it hard to believe that her following would be, let's say, any larger than some of the others.
Some of the other ones, yeah.
For example, I really thought that Skylar Lane had a chance to win this thing because of the country following. Last year on the American Idol, the winner was Scotty McCreery and the runner-up was Lauren Elena, both country singers. And everybody knows on these shows how the country, following, the country fans, they come out and they vote for their country people, their country genre. You go back even 5 years, 6 years when Taylor Hicks won over Catherine McPhee. I don't think there are too many people in the music business that believed that Taylor Hicks, was a better singer than Catherine McPhee. But he had that whole Soul Patrol thing going, and the country following came out and they pushed him through to win the whole thing. That's why I thought Skylar, she was the last country girl in this thing, and she is a great singer, and she's gonna, you're gonna hear a lot from that girl. But she got kicked off last week, so I would find it hard to believe that Jessica would have a bigger following than that.
The good thing about these shows is that whether they win or lose, they get a lot of exposure and a lot of training, and they learn a lot and they grow a lot. So whether they win the competition or not, a lot of them end up more successful than the actual winner, like Clay Aiken and things like that.
Well, that's true. And also, all of these singers that are in the top 10, they're going on tour this summer, and they're going to go all around the United States, and they're going to put on a concert tour, the American Idol concert tour. So like Holly, who got kicked off tonight, I feel bad for her, but she's going to have a whole summer now of touring the U.S. So, they're getting even more exposure than just, the show itself. After the show is over, then they go on a tour. So a concert tour where they come to your city and they're going to play, and people, sell the place out for them. And you're right, they get a lot of exposure.
Yeah, so basically you make the top 10, you're in pretty good shape for your career, period.
Well, you see, that's where I differ. I wouldn't go that far. So many times people say, oh, once they're in the top 10 or even the top 12 or whatever, they're all going to get record deals. Man, I don't believe that for a second, man. You look at, like, for example, Javier Colon, who won The Voice last year. He's only sold about 150,000 records, which is not good, okay? So you can win this thing or come in second or third, and if it's just, people voting on TV for you is one thing, but can you sell records? Will people, download your music? Will they buy your music? That's a different issue, and it's not a guarantee of anything. I think if by winning it, you do have a better chance of getting that, ultimately that success. But then there's all these examples of people who didn't win it. You look at Chris Daughtry. He came in 4th. You look at Jennifer Hudson, who won an Oscar. She came in 8th and was kicked off the show. So there have been lots of people that didn't. Kelly Pickler's made a nice career for herself. She didn't win. There's been a lot of them like that. So it's certainly no guarantee just by being in the top 10.
I guess it all boils down to the raw talent combined with that exposure, and then combined with their ambition and drive to succeed, pretty much is the real combination of whether they succeed or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's obviously a lot of luck involved too,
Yeah.
But anyway, I really appreciate you calling in. What else is, before I let you go, anything else on your mind?
Not at the moment. Nothing's popping into my head right now, but I'll be sure to call in the next show if I have something to talk about.
Okay, you following the Lakers?
I haven't been following basketball. I've been following a little more baseball right now.
Your Padres?
I can't. I just can't. It's so boring. They're so bad.
Okay. All right, man. We won't go there. I'm a Yankee fan.
I don't follow any particular team.
Okay. All right, man. Ryno, nice to hear from you. Stay in touch, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me, Larry. I appreciate it.
Sure. Take care.
Take care, you too.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, so where we left off, let's see. Where are we doing on time? All right, so you know what? Before we go to the break, I said we were going to show the Joshua Ledet song on his personal choice. It's a man's world. This was the James Brown song. Once again, to me, he was phenomenal for sure. But a week and a half ago, was when Juliet Sims performed this song, It's a Man's World, in the semifinals of The Voice, and this is what propelled her into the finals. It was the performance of the entire season for all the singers, and I think everybody would agree it was the number one performance of the season by Juliet Sims. And now Josh does it on American Idol. It sounds a little fishy to me, but nevertheless, he did it great. I prefer Juliet's version, but they're just uniquely separate, different. They're both great. Here it is, Joshua Ledet, It's a Man's World.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing, without a woman or a girl. To take us over the road. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electric light to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat by the water like Noah made the ark. This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. Man thinks about the little bitty baby girl and the baby boy. Them happy, 'cause man makes them toys. This is a man's world. It wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. No, you see a man without a woman, she don't know, she don't know. In the wilderness, she's alone in bitterness. No, this is a man's world, man. This is a man's world. She'll hold you, she'll hold you. Yeah, this is a man's
Joshua Ledet. Neither man nor woman has ever sang that good with that much compassion on this show ever.
Thank you.
Ever. I can go home right now.
Right, exactly.
I never heard anything like that in my life. My life.
I think people at home maybe thought, like I did, that they had seen
everything you have to give and how you can interpret a song, we hadn't. We hadn't. I have to say it in Spanish, pasión, corazón, everything, because you're making me speak different languages now. It's crazy. That was sickening.
Yo, man, you delivered us and America tonight. Everybody saw this, got something tonight from this. And to me, we sit here, we judge, we know everything that's going on, we watch the show. This is the time when people sing for you, you should forget about everything but what they're doing. That's what you do every time you get up. I think it's the greatest song for you. I think it's one of the best performances in the history of any singing show, including ours. Any show. Any show. Yo, I feel like a broken record now. I've said it a bunch of times this season. If you want to know what singing is really about, an emotion and connecting to a lyric and just singing the I don't know what out of something, please watch Joshua Ledet. He's sending everyone to school, Ryan.
Incredible. I mean, you guys couldn't wait to stand up. They were like pushing their chairs back during that song, ready to pop up in the middle of it.
I had never known what it meant when somebody said, like, take you to church. I know what it meant, but I actually went to church. I was like, whoa.
Dude, we got religion.
That never happened
We
to
caught
me.
feelings, Ryan. We were catching feelings, baby.
It was amazing.
You found religion there.
I did. I saw the Lord.
Mom, what'd you think? Give us a little nod.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yo, man.
All right. Where does that transformation come from?
I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, you see how the judges reacted. It was pretty incredible. I still say I like Juliet Simms' version of that song even better. But now, again, going back to my point, how would you like to be the singer that has to now come on and sing right after that? Okay. Not easy to do. I mean, the place went nuts. He blew the roof off the place. Everybody was standing on their feet. The judges said it was the greatest thing they've ever seen on any show. And now Jessica Sanchez has to come out there and follow that. I was thinking, oh my God, this is not going to be good. But you know what? She, her song choice for her personal choice was, and I'm telling you, I'm not going. And she said it was inspired by, about 3-4 weeks ago, when she was voted off the show, the judges used their one save for the season when Jennifer Lopez ran up on the stage and took the microphone away from her and said, "You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here." And they saved her. And so she said ever since then, her mission was, I'm not going. I'm staying now. And she's really even turned it up another notch. And so now Jessica Sanchez, here she is, and she's doing the song from Dreamgirls that people identify with Jennifer Hudson, and that was the movie that Jennifer Hudson won the Oscar for. But Jennifer, the little 16-year-old, puts her own spin and shows that she's got some soul herself. So here it is. Jessica Sanchez now is going to follow Joshua Ledet with... and I'm telling you, I'm not going. Well, you saw a moment ago, those other pictures, those were the pictures of the first song, Steal Away, that we showed you. We weren't going to show that, but because I had Ryno on the phone from San Diego, I showed it for him. This is the outfit she wore for the, and I'm telling you, and the interesting thing about it was, she's been really working the stage this year, going all over the stage and kind of moving, slinking her body all over the place and really moving great with the music. She was told to not move, just stand there and belt it and sing it. So she literally just stood in the middle of the stage, no dancers around her, no tricks, no nothing. And she just sang it just with all the soul she had. She had to follow Joshua Ledet. And she was in the wings when he was singing. And so she said, all right, get out of my way. This is my turn. Here she is, Jessica Sanchez.
And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best man I ever know. There's no way I can ever go. We're part of the same place. We're part of the same time. both share the same blood. We both have the same mind. And time, we've had so much to share. No, 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 no. I'm not waking up tomorrow morning and finding out there's nobody there. So darling, there's no way. No, 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 no way. I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. You see, there's just no way. There's no way. Tear down the mountains, yeah, scream and shout, and you can say what you want. I'm not walking out. Stop by the rivers, push, rock, and kill. I'm not gonna leave here. There's no way I will. And I am telling you, I'm not going. You're the best you may not ever know. There's no way I can ever sit, ever go down there. There's no way. No, 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 no way. I'm living without you. Oh, I'm not living without you. Not living without you. I don't wanna be free, and I'm staying. I'm staying. And you, and you, and you're gonna love me. Love me. You're gonna love me.
Another winning performance. Just over the top. Tell me how you really feel. Wow, how did it feel singing that?
Amazing.
Right?
I just let it all out.
That's what we were talking about from the very beginning. Getting out of yourself and putting yourself into a song so the song makes everybody forget where they are and what they're doing. That's what you just did.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It seems like it's gonna be a real race to the finish here. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know who's gonna win. This is crazy. I mean, with a performance like that, I mean, there's just nothing else to, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say. Your vocal ability, it's not something that you see all the time, you know, and I'm sure you feel a little emotional right now because you just let out so much. You just let out so much through your voice. I felt you digging deep because I don't know if they told you to stay still. I feel like they told you don't move, don't do anything. And to contain all that while you're singing a vocal like that, it probably was just ripping your soul apart. You know, and I understand, and it was a real moment. It was a real moment. We've had a lot tonight, but that was amazing.
Yo, man, let me just say this. I don't know what's going on tonight, but Joshua's last performance and this last performance by you, and Philip's, I think you guys are really now in it, Ryan, finally I'm saying it, in it to really win it. But listen something. This is one of the hardest songs in the world to sing. Yeah. It's been sung like crazy on this stage, and you know what? You got up there and slayed it. I don't know where you find the experience and the vocal chops, but dude, you are phenomenal. Another great performance. And I know Julian Lennon's in the house. Julian, this is what Idol's all about. Dude, what do you think? Even Jessica. Julian loved it. See, look at that.
Ms. Sanchez, come on over. How how is this going to end up? I mean, like Jennifer said, we don't know, but you got to vote for your favorite. Jessica's numbers.
Chill with Larry Megan.
ZuluTimeZone.com is the first and only authorized dealer for Offshore Limited in the United States. ZuluTimeZone.com is proud to support Chillin' with Larry Megan and Acorn TV. Use the discount coupon code DAD to receive an additional $20 off per item. ZuluTimeZone.com digs Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Okay, we're kind of welcome back. We're kind of in here arguing a little bit. Whose version of "It's a Man's World" do you like better, Joshua Ledet's or Juliet Simms? I'm in the Juliet Simms camp, and some of the others here are in the Joshua camp. But anyway, they were both great, just very different. I thought that you just saw Jessica Sanchez. I thought, again, for 16 years old, it was just, she's incredible. All right, well. Anyway, tonight, Holly got voted off of American Idol. So your final three now for American Idol are Jessica Sanchez, Joshua Ledet, and Philip Phillips. And all three of them next week are going back to their hometowns where they're going to get like a hero's reception in all of these towns. So that's going to be interesting next week. Now, this week on The Voice, let's talk about that. This was the finale week. So, and on The Voice, the way they do their cuts, they really do accelerate the cuts, because if you remember, I think American Idol was maybe at their top 10 or top 9 when The Voice still had 48 people remaining, their top 48. But in just a matter of a few weeks now, The Voice is now officially over, and there's still 2 more weeks to go for American Idol. So in some regards, if you're a singing contestant that really wants more exposure, the way the American Idol works, they just cut one person a week. So each week that you make it through, you're coming back doing another song. These artists, these singers on American Idol are getting to perform something like 15 to 20 songs, because in addition to their regular song, once you get into like the top 5 or 6, they're doing 2 songs per week. And then in addition to that, they have duets and quartets, and they're performing 20 songs in a season, whereas on The Voice, they're getting a chance, don't get me wrong, but if you make it all the way to the end, maybe you're getting to perform 10 songs or, so not nearly as many. And a lot of the contestants on The Voice only performed their audition and maybe 1 or 2 more times, and that was it. So The Voice does do an accelerated, chopping procedure where they lop them off, 8 people a week, 4 people. So they get cut fast, and now the show is over. Well, for the finale, here's your final 4. Here's your top 4. There's 1 from each team. Of course, they have a quota. It's not necessarily the top 4 singers on the season. It's the top singer from each team. At least that's the concept. I would disagree with a few of these here, but nevertheless, Jermaine Paul in the white tux there from Team Blake. Chris Mann from Team Christina, the opera singer. There's my girl Juliet Simms from Team CeeLo, the rocker. And then most controversial contestant on the show, Tony Luca from the former Mouseketeer days of the Mickey Mouse Club. When he was in the club, he's 36 years old. He was there when Christina was in the club, and also Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. And him and Christina, of course, their battle in the last 3 or 4 weeks has been all over the blogs, all over the internet. And we'll talk more about that as we go. It kind of even took away something from the show, I felt. But what they did for the finale is each one of these contestants got to perform 3 times. Now, the only one that technically is supposed to count, as a viewer, they tell you really, do your judging based upon their solo performance. But, you're going to be influenced by how they perform in their other 2. What they did is each one did a tribute song to their own coach by singing a song. And it was a surprise to the coaches, by the way. They didn't theoretically or supposedly the coaches didn't know about it. I don't know if that's true or not, but if we are to believe what they said, then it was a surprise. So the contestant would sing, like Chris Mann sang a Christina Aguilera song to Christina, and Juliet Sims sang a CeeLo Green song, and so forth. Then they also sang a duet with their coach, okay, and then they had their solo performance. So first up was Tony Lucca, and Tony, for his solo song, he did a song called 99 Problems by Jay-Z. Later after the show, he said it was the Hugo version. And this was Tony Lucca. And this is a song that's very edgy. I wasn't familiar with it, but he cleaned up the lyrics by not pronouncing the B word. He says, I got problems, but the blank, but the ain't one. And of course, that's supposed to be, but the bitch ain't one. And he didn't say the word. So when the song was over, Christina Aguilera, they've had a standing feud going back and forth. Christina said, well, you sang it nice, but the lyrics I find to be derogatory towards women. And, I got to give Christina credit and for standing up. She's taken a lot of heat over this battle with Tony from their former Mouseketeer days, and nobody really quite knows what's gone on between these two, but she's been very harsh on him. She's been downright kind of almost over the line with him in the sense of saying, well, you're very one-dimensional and everything. And there's been a backlash against Christina by people voting him through. Well, anyway, then Adam got up and Adam said it was a metaphor, Christina, and he took off his jacket and he had underneath his jacket, he had a Team Christina t-shirt, a glittery Team Christina t-shirt. And it was like they were trying to get back at Christina. And I don't think that Tony Lucca meant to do that song as being derogatory toward women. I think he meant it as a slap at Christina herself, because she's been trying to basically submarine him on this show, even trying to talk Adam into giving more points to Katrina Parker. So this whole thing kind of overshadowed the show. It was very negative for The Voice, and it was not a good thing. But that was his song, and Adam said it was a metaphor for life, and we move on. Next up for Tony, when he did his coach's tribute song, he did Harder to Breathe, a Maroon 5 song, and it really was their first big hit for Maroon 5. And Christina, when it came time to doing their comments on the performances, Christina she had her cell phone in her hand and she just kept texting. After Tony was actually trying to be nice and thank all 4 of the judges, Christina wouldn't have any of it, and she was acting completely disinterested on the show and just texting. Not very flattering for Christina Aguilera in that situation. And then when Tony Lucca did his duet with Adam, they did the Beatles Yesterday, and it was actually really nice. I thought, it sounded nice. It was a pleasant moment. Here's Tony with his acoustic guitar, and of course, Adam Levine, he really is a great singer, and I thought it sounded really nice. The only criticism I would have here is that I think that in many ways it came off as Tony being, a sidekick to Adam. And I think that Adam should have tried to maybe go out of his way to make sure that Tony was perceived as at least being of equal here, not just his guitar player. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tony did get to sing a lot, but I don't think Adam subverted himself enough here. You want to put the spotlight on your star so that they might win this thing. But that's all I would say about it. Next up for Team Blake, this is the ultimate winner here, obviously Jermaine Paul. And this was the first performance of the show. He came out dressed very, very classy. course, Jermaine Paul is the one of the background singers for Alicia Keys. He had also done background vocals for Mary J. Blige. He's been doing, professional singing for about 10 years. And so he's very polished. He's done everything well. His performances have all been very solid. And here he sang I Believe I Can Fly, the R. Kelly ballad. And he wore the white tux, very classy. And Christina said, you just, sing with so much heart and soul and emotion. That's what this show is all about. CeeLo Green says that was the perfect song for tonight's event. And Adam said, you're so powerful. You are an incredible singer. And I don't think any of us could take our eyes off of you. It was just so elegant. And, I was thinking about it, what are we going to show? Well, technically speaking, this was really the winning performance. This was the performance that caused him to win. So I think, we kind of owe it to ourselves here by covering the voice for the entire season. We probably should show the winning performance. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at Jermaine Paul singing the R. Kelly ballad, I Believe I Can Fly.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I could see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I could fly. I believe I could touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I could soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I could fly. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I believe in you, yeah. If I could see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly. I could soar. See me running through that. Oh, I could fly. If I just spread my wings, I could fly.
Jermaine Paul and the St. James Concert Choir, everybody. Thank you.
Well, there it was. I mean, again, solid performance. I just, we've been seeing so many great performances. I just didn't think it rose to the level of winning this whole show. But there it was, very solid. He's a professional singer, no question about it. On Jermaine's tribute song to his coach, he sang a Blake Shelton song, "God Gave Me You," and he kind of was singing it almost like he was singing it to Blake, which was kind of cool. And Christina said it just on that one. Christina, once again, Christina really likes Jermaine Paul, and she said that you're just, a professional all the way, and very nice things that she had to say, and just loved him. And then on the duet with Blake, this was probably the first time that this was the first time that we saw like the fun side of Jermaine, where he wasn't so serious. All his other songs he's been singing have been kind of ballads, and or he's done some up-tempo stuff too. But here he did Soul Man, the Blues Brothers song with Blake, and it really was. You could tell the two of them were having a lot of fun up there, and it was done really nice. And I think that Blake, who is really, one thing about Blake as a coach, he always makes sure that the spotlight is on his team players. Blake has been the country music entertainer of the year like 2 years in a row. He's not looking for extra publicity at all. He's trying to make sure the spotlight is on his team players, and I really appreciated that, and he certainly did that here, where you could tell during this duet Jermaine was the lead all the way. There was no question about that. But it was the fun side of Jermaine, and it was really nice. Next up for Team Christina now, this was Chris Mann, the opera singer. And, Christina has Aguilera. She's really been going out of her way to really hype Chris Mann and just say what a gentleman he is, what a classy guy he is, what a great talent he is. And, here he sang You Raise Me Up, the Josh Groban song. And it was, here's with the children's choir, as you can see right here. They had an on-stage sign interpreter there. Christina was, she was crying. They showed the camera on her, and you could see she was all emotional and crying. And he definitely did a nice job. And CeeLo said, you are one of the most incomparable vocalists I've ever heard. You are so completely cool to me, just the way that you are. And what CeeLo was referring to was they showed a video package on him, and what he said in his video package was, he really appreciated the voice because he doesn't try to be cool by singing, hip pop songs. He likes his opera, and he knows it's not cool, but that's who he is and what he wants to be. And then when he sang his song, it was really nice. It was beautiful. And CeeLo said, to me, you are cool. It is cool. And he was telling him, and that's what he meant by that. And, of course, Christina, she just absolutely, loves this guy. And she said, you raise me up every time. And she was crying and everything. And on the coach's tribute song, this is where Chris Mann sang The Voice Within to Christina, and it was very nicely done. I mean, it was, he's a solid singer. My problem with Chris is simply that he's not Andrea Bocelli, and they are making him out to be the next Andrea Bocelli. The way they dress him. Here he is with the scarf, always seen with the scarf, again, trying to make that connection to Bocelli. And, he's just not Bocelli. I'm sorry, he's good, but he's not Bocelli, and that's the problem I have. But next on the duet with Christina, they sang The Prayer, and Chris went out of his way to let everybody know that this was his dream. He actually envisioned this over a year ago, or about a year ago, that he would go on The Voice, and he was hoping that he could get picked by Christina so that he could go on Christina and do a duet with her of this song. He envisioned it a year ago, and this was his dream, to do this duet with her. And it actually happened. And Christina said at the opening of the show, of course, she's the ultimate diva, and she's been drawing a lot of attention to herself for sure. And at the very beginning of the show, she let everybody know that she's sick and she has a cold, but she's got to perform tonight. So she had that built-in excuse. But she was a trooper, and even with her cold, she did a nice job. And as much as I really hate to admit it, I would have to say the duet with Christina and Chris probably was, in my opinion, the performance of the night. I would like to say that Juliet had the performance of the night, which I thought was really good. But if you could only pick one, I honestly felt that the duet with Christina was the best performance of the night. So take a look at the Prayer with Chris Mann and Christina Aguilera.
I pray you'll be eyes and watch us from above and help us to be wise in times when we don't know.
Nella mia preghiera,
Let this be our prayer.
quanta fede c'è.
When shadows fill the day, lead us to a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e di speranza. Ognuno di Allah, Manuel suo vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. We ask that life be
Il
kind
desiderio che
and watch us from above.
ognuno troviamo
We hope if so we'll find
intorno e dentro sé.
another song to
Let this be our
let this be our prayer.
just like every child.
Just like every child,
Need to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved.
nella fede che hai acceso noi.
Sangue che ci
Chris Mann and Christina Aguilera.
Well, there it was, really nicely done. Chris Mann and his coach, Christina Aguilera, and he saw his dream come true to sing that duet with Christina. Those two really did have a special bond for sure. For Team CeeLo, of course, his finalist was Juliet Sims. This was the girl that I was rooting for to win this, and her solo song was Freebird by Leonard Skinner. And you see how she was dressed. I mean, it was incredible. She, you know, just this red flowing cape and gown. She looked like a real rocker. It had a very ethereal feel to it. It was just amazing. She did a tremendous job with the song. I don't think it quite was the hit that It's a Man's World was. Christina always has to make it about her. On her comment, she mentioned that her heart went out to her because she was battling a cold, and she could relate because Christina also was battling a cold. Okay, we get it already, Christina. We know you're sick. But this was Juliet's turn in the spotlight, and she really did a great job with Freebird. But, I've been watching these shows now for 7 or 8 years, and I don't know, how many times have we seen Freebird done already? Probably 100, So I was disappointed in her song choice, but she is a rocker, and she did a really nice job with it. And we're going to show you that video in just a moment. On her tribute song, she did Crazy, which was a CeeLo Green song when he had his group called Gnarls Barkley from about 4 or 5 years ago. And she did a really nice job with that. I actually liked her version better than CeeLo's version. and she walked out there. She really developed a real friendship with CeeLo Green, and you just know these two are going to collaborate, and he's going to produce her now after the show. We're going to be seeing a lot of this girl, okay? CeeLo absolutely adores her, and she's a huge talent. And, they made it very clear they're going to continue to work together. So one of the things I think Juliet did right is she picked CeeLo Green, whereas Jordis Unga, my favorite, before she got cut, I think Jordis made the wrong choice by picking Blake Shelton. Jordis should have picked Christina or CeeLo because she's a rocker, and she would have had more of a chance to do what she really does and been able to shine, I think, with CeeLo. And I think that was a very smart choice by Juliet Sims, because also Adam and Christina had picked her, and they were kind of fighting over her, but she felt that CeeLo really understood her. So she went with CeeLo, and it really was a smart choice. And then on her duet with CeeLo, it was kind of a wild, typical CeeLo Green staging. It was Steppenwolf, Born to be Wild, and it was pretty amazing. You had these people in cages bouncing all over the place, and you could tell Juliet was having a lot of fun up there doing a duet with CeeLo. She loved it, and it was a hard rocking, moving, upbeat song, and they tore the place down. I mean, it was a great job. So I think, this is my girl, Juliet Sims. So we're going to take a look at her video of Freebird. And again, it was great, but not quite to the standard of last week when she did It's a Man's World. And also, she was literally 2 days before the show, she had 103 temperature, and she was on voice and bed rest for 2 days coming into the show, trying to save it up to be able to perform all the songs that she had to perform. So you got to give her a few points for that. But I think she did a heck of a job. Here she is.
If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? 'Cause I must be traveling on now, 'cause there's too many places I've got to see.
Representing Team CeeLo, our final finalist of the night, Juliet Sims. All right, your coach has got a standing ovation for you. We'll get to him in a second. Let's start with Adam Levine. What'd you think of Juliet?
You know, what you do is just so incredible, and I think that, like, for someone that I have like no grit in my voice, you have all of it. It's just so, I don't know, man. It just, no one sings like you. You're incredible, and it was beautiful. And...
Thanks,
Christina.
What more can I say? I mean, you were amazing. I love that song. I loved you on it. I love what you're wearing. My heart goes out to you. We're like connected tonight because we're both performing sick. So I feel for you. So great job. You killed it, like under the circumstances. Thank you.
Let's talk to your coach, CeeLo Green. What'd you think of Juliet, your finalist tonight?
I have one thing to say. With Juliet.
Well, CeeLo's so funny. I have no problems. And, you know, the hidden joke there is about all the problems going on between Adam and Christina, you know, but with Tony Luca and the whole MMC feud that's going on the show, publicly, behind the scenes, on the internet. So CeeLo's statement is, I have no problems. You know, that's the underlying joke there. Anyway, the next night, of course, was the finale. You know, that was the end of the show with her playing Freebird, with her doing Freebird, Juliet. And now the public gets their chance to vote. And we come to the finale. And here we are on the finale night. And you can see the final four on stage with Carson Daly. You have Jermaine Paul and Chris Mann, Juliet Sims, and Tony Luca with the coaches up there. And, you know, the finale was really interesting what they did. I mean, there was a lot going on. Now, remember, this is a 2-hour show. It's like a big party, a big celebration just to announce who the winner was. But they weren't going to do the winning announcement until the last 10 minutes. So what they did, which I thought was really cool, really interesting, is they had each of the 4 finalists were allowed to bring back some of the participants from earlier in the competition, people that they had formed bonds and friendships with, to sing with them. So that was kind of cool. We got to see some of the people who've been cut come back and perform on the night of the finale. Plus they had some celebrity appearances as well. So you had the celebrity appearance was this. First, you had Hall & Oates. And so you had Jermaine Paul, Chris Mann, and Tony Luca. 3 of the 4 finalists got to perform Rich Girl with Hall & Oates. And they weren't that prominent. They were kind of on the side singing backup, which was kind of disappointing, but they certainly were there. If you check out the next pictures, you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, there they were on the side, Jermaine and Chris and Tony, okay? And once again with Hall & Oates. Next up, you had Juliet Sims. She performed with the rapper Flo Rida, Whistle and Wild Ones. And here, you know, unlike the 3 guys who performed with Hall & Oates, they were background. Juliet was, you know, prominent here with Flo Rida, and she really starred. I mean, it was professional show business all the way. She was fantastic. It was a great performance. They had bonus performances, celebrity performances, which were also pretty cool. You had Lady Antebellum, of course, the big country star group that's just, you know, all over the charts with Wanted You More. And then they saved the big one for the end of the show was Justin Bieber. And Justin Bieber sang Boyfriend, and it was at the very end of the show, just before the final announcement here. And he was all over the stage. And I think Justin Bieber performed on the X Factor, and I think he's been on American Idol, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. But it seems like he's never met a singing competition show that he doesn't like. But he did a really nice job out there. And, you know, look how short he is next to, you know, Carson Daly right here. I mean, I realize he's not, he's still a teenager, but kind of short, kind of surprising. Okay. But then each of the finalists, like I said earlier, got to bring back some of the people who were cut. And first here you had Juliet Sims with Aaron Willett, Ray Lynn, Jamar Rogers, and they sang the Beatles song With a Little Help from My Friends. And you'll notice here, the key here, notice that Jamar Rogers is in the group that's Jamar Rogers in the red jacket right there. He's in the group that Juliet chose. Now, again, there might have been input from the producers that they're not telling us about, but the way they presented it was that each of the 4 finalists got to bring back friends that they, bonds that they formed friendships with from some of the previous contestants of their own choosing. I don't really know if that's 100% true, but the interesting thing is that Jamar Rogers was in 2 of those groups. He was the only one, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but he really deserved to be in the Final 4, but the rules would not allow 2 people from one team to be in the Final 4 because he was sensational. Next up, Jermaine Paul, and he brought an interesting group back here. He brought back Pip, who was very popular. He was the one who always wore the bow tie. There he is on the left. He was on Team Adam. And once again, Jamar Rogers from Team CeeLo, just to the right there of Jermaine Paul. And then over on the far right, that is James Massoni, who was on Team CeeLo. I got to tell you, he sounded great in this song. They sang I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. And I thought James Massoni from Boston sounded as good on this song as he did on any song he performed while being on Team CeeLo. He got to kind of let it rip a little bit. And it was a great fun performance. And you could tell Jermaine was the leader of the group, but I thought it was interesting how they said, he talked about Jamar Rogers being such a nice guy, always happy, always encouraging everybody. On a football team, for example, you always have one guy in the locker room that everybody, kind of clings to, or is the leader in the locker room, or is everybody's buddy and friend and they all like him. I got a feeling Jamar Rogers was that guy on this overall cast for this season. It seemed like everybody loved Jamar, that he was this happy-go-lucky, outgoing guy, and he got to perform in 2 of these, bring-back groups. And then what they did is they formed a ladies group with none of the finalists in it. These 4 ladies were all cut. That's Kim Yarbrough on the left. That's from Team Adam. And then you have Sarah Hill in the green dress right there. That was Team Christina. That was a hard cut for Christina because Christina really did like Sarah Hill. And then you have Naya Kate, and then over on the right you had Chessa from Team CeeLo. But it was interesting to me, the 2 that were missing that, maybe they didn't get along with people or maybe they just couldn't come, was Ashley De La Rosa, who was a tremendous force on this season with Team Christina, and also Matai from Team Adam. They were not asked back, or if they were asked back, they didn't make it. They didn't participate in the finale. Also, the other one that was missing, mysteriously to me, was Jesse Campbell, who was cut by Christina on that instant elimination. And, of course, that caused a major, uproar on the internet. How could you cut Jesse Campbell? Some people thought he was the one to beat, and now he's mysteriously not even in the finale. So maybe nobody got along with this guy. I don't know what the issue was, but you would have certainly thought he would have been one that would have been brought back. Next, Chris Mann. He brought back his teammate, Lindsay Paveo, over there on the right in the maroon dress, and also Katrina Parker from Team Adam, the blonde lady right there. You could really have made a strong case that both Katrina Parker and Lindsay Paveo belonged in the Final 4. Lindsay perhaps over Chris Mann himself on Team Christina, and actually Katrina Parker won the public vote for Team Adam over Tony Luca. But it was Adam himself that pushed Tony into the finals over Katrina. But Katrina got more public votes than Tony Luca. So those 2 ladies right there, a lot of people would argue that they both deserved to be in the Final 4, but they weren't. But Chris Mann brought them both back. And they sang a song that was really right in Lindsay's wheelhouse. It was Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. And Lindsay, I think, kind of stole the show there, in my opinion. Tony Luca, interesting, he brought my girl back, which was Jordis Unga. And, I had high hopes for Jordis that she was going to win this competition. If we could go to that next picture, fellas. There we go. Jordis Unga, like I said, I had high hopes for her, but Blake cut her on the instant elimination very unfairly, in my opinion. But nevertheless, she got to perform Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac with Tony Lucca. And I would say Tony really tore it up. Jordis was solid, but not great. And I just don't quite understand it, what's going on here, because the girl has so much talent. I just think there's something going on with her. Maybe she's lacking confidence or whatever. She sang well here, but she really had a chance to soar here on this song, and she didn't really do it. And I was glad that, Tony Lucca brought her back. It seemed like the two of them had a real bond. They both live in Los Angeles, and maybe they've, kind of been on the, the circuit of playing in small clubs and things like that. And so maybe they've met each other along the way. And so they made a nice pairing right there. I just am puzzled at why Jordis, didn't perform up to, what her expectations really are. Well, next we have, of course, this is the decision now. We get to the end of the show, and it's time to make that decision between, well, it came down to Jermaine Paul and Juliet Sims, but actually all four of them were on stage. We have that queued up, right, guys? The video? Yeah. We have it queued up. So this was the moment that the whole season came down to. So here it is. Season of The Voice is in the can, and Jermaine Paul is the winner. A lot of theories out there as to why he won. He was kind of flying under the radar for most of the season, very solid throughout the season, but he was not getting a lot of buzz. And like I said earlier, I read a lot of blogs online about this stuff, and I usually agree with about half of it. But there's a lot of people out there that are saying that he won because of the feud that was going on between Christina and Tony Lucca, and that people just didn't like the controversy. And initially there was a backlash against Christina for her coming down so hard on Tony Lucca, telling him he's only a one-dimensional singer and things like that. And so initially he was getting votes. And the backlash was also going against Chris Mann, Christina's player. But then on the finale night, people felt, at least it's what some people are saying, I don't totally agree with this, they're saying that a lot of people were now going against Tony Lucca because he contributed to the feud by singing Jay-Z's 99 Problems, saying, I have 99 problems, but the bitch ain't one, meaning Christina, that it was directed at Christina. And Christina took exception to that. So now that, Tony is now contributing to the feud, there was a backlash against Tony. And so basically, you'll notice when they had the four finalists, some people thought Tony or Chris Mann were going to win. They were the bottom two. They were fourth and third place, and they said there was only 0.25% between them. So they think that the feud between those two teams, those two people, was what caused a lot of people to stay clear, not to be involved in the controversy, and that allowed Jermaine to come in there and grab that male vote because, again, Juliet Sims being a female rocker, typically female rockers don't get the votes. Well, I don't agree with that theory. I mean, there might have been a few people that said, well, okay, forget him and I'm not going to vote for him and I'm not going to vote for her. But I have my own theory, okay? And what it boils down for me, because again, he was not getting a lot of buzz this year, okay? I think nobody expected Jermaine Paul of these four finalists to be the one to win it. He was most people probably thought he'd be the first one eliminated of these four, let alone win it. But my theory is this, and it's only a theory, but if you look at the popularity of country music, last year on American Idol, the top two finishers were, Scotty McCreery and Lauren Elena, both country singers. This year, in the final four, you didn't have any country singers at all. The last country singer to be cut and eliminated from this show was Ray Lynn the little blonde 17-year-old from Blake Shelton's team, and Blake had to let her go. And he did. Once Ray Lynn was off the show, there was not one country singer in the bunch. However, Blake Shelton, of course, is won the Country Music Entertainer of the Year 2 years in a row. He's about the biggest country star that you have out there on the male side. He's got a huge country following, massive. And on that final night, Jermaine did sing a country song. He sang Blake Shelton's song, which was, what was it, God Gave Me You. And there wasn't really any genre that Jermaine Paul couldn't sing well because he's a professional singer. He's been singing in the studio for 10 years. Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, and others. So he sang it very well. And I think what happened was that the country following had nobody to vote for. And I believe a lot of these people voted for Blake Shelton. So Jermaine Paul got those votes from that country following, if for no other reason than to support Blake. And Jermaine did sing a country song on finale night. So that's kind of my theory, not to mention the fact that, Alicia Keys was in touch with Jermaine Paul throughout this competition. She even was texting him on the stage when he won. Because if you look at the post interviews after the show, he said that Alicia, was texting him up there on the stage. They were having viewing parties. Alicia Keys was having viewing parties. She was wishing him luck. One of the commercials that we saw, one of the car in the video package, you saw Jermaine Paul driving to the studio to perform on The Voice. And while he was driving in the car, he got a voice message that he played on the car speaker from Alicia Keys wishing him luck. And I just believe that, if nothing else, Alicia Keys has a big following. And I think she threw her support behind Jermaine Paul. So I think with that combined with the country vote, I think that's where everything snuck up on everybody and he ran away with it. So I don't think it really had that much to do with that feud. That's just my own theory. But, a solid professional nonetheless. I just really felt that Juliet had the biggest moments of the entire season with It's a Man's World and Roxanne. Nobody topped those two moments on the season, and she deserved to win this thing. Okay, he's the winner. That's that. There's no crying in the singing competition shows. Well, actually, there is crying, but, there's a lot of crying, but no whining, I should say. No whining allowed here. All right, so with that said, I think it's time we're going to go to our last segment of the night. It's Always Chasing Rainbows. We end every show with a Judy Garland moment in film, and tonight we're going to go back to 1949. At this point in Judy's life, she's about 26 or 27, depending upon when they actually filmed it. And it was the movie in the good old summertime, and it was with co-starring Van Johnson and Judy Garland. And this movie was, based on the movie The Shop Around the Corner. And then later, of course, we all know, the movie You've Got Mail, which was based on this one. So loosely based on this one. But anyway, Judy Garland sings a song called I Don't Care. And it was at a dinner affair where the owner of the music store that she worked in had asked her to go up there and sing a song. And she's flailing her arms, I don't care, I don't care. And that's kind of my attitude tonight on these singing shows. I really don't care, but it's fun stuff. So here it is, Judy Garland from 1949, I Don't Care.
They say I'm crazy, got no sense, but I don't care. They may or may not mean offense, but I don't care. You see, I'm sort of independent. I am my own superintendent, and my star is on the ascendant. That's why I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what they may think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky. They say that I'm plucky, contented, and carefree. I don't care. I don't care if I do get a mean and stony stare. If I'm not successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't care. A girl should know her etiquette. Alas, alack, propriety demands we walk a narrow track. When fellas used to blink at me, I'd freeze them and they'd shrink at me. But now when fellas wink at me, I wink at them right back. I don't care, I don't care if people frown on me. Perhaps it's the lone way, but I go my own way. That's my philosophy. I don't care, I don't care if he's a clerk or just a millionaire. There's no doubt about it. I'll sing and I'll shout it, 'cause I don't care. Oh, I don't care, I don't care. When it comes to happiness, I want my share. Don't try to rearrange me. There's nothing can change me, 'cause I don't care.
Okay, there it is. I Don't Care, Judy Garland. And, you know, this whole segment of Always Chasing Rainbows is about, you know, always keep pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals, never give up. Always keep chasing those rainbows. Next week, I'm working on a guest right now. I'm hoping to be able to have this guest. If I'm able, I can't say, but if I do get this guest, I will post it on our Facebook page. It could be really exciting. And, you know, just check us out next week. Keep checking our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. So until next week, I'm Larry Megan. Peace, love, and all good things.
Chillin' with Larry Megan.